Hello, it is I, the hand-forged chef. I'm in the shop making things. It is currently 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. Friday night, and I have a big order that I need to finish. And I said that I would finish it this week. Which means that I have tonight and about half of tomorrow to finish making 5 knives and 12 dippers. That is a lot of work to do. So I've been working on this project, this order, for a couple months now in my free time. But it's been taking a while, and turns out I need to get it shipped because he needs it by Christmas, and I'm not done with it yet. So this is an order that I've been working on for a few months already, but I still have 2 knives to finish entirely and 12 dippers to make. So 3 of my knives are almost done. They just need a little bit of sanding on the handles to get polished up. However, 2 of the knives are still in some very unglued states. So this one gets a hamon. It's already been heat treated, but it needs to be hand sanded and then etched overnight. And only then will I be able to glue up the handle tomorrow. And this one here has a 3-piece wooden handle. It does not need to be etched, but it does need to be glued up before I can get that together tomorrow. So my goal for tonight is to hand sand both of these blades and get this one glued up and get this one in the etching acid. And then after that, I need to put 3 of these together that I have the components made for, which are little measuring cups, and I somehow need to make 11 more of these in slightly different sizes. I've made a lot of copper dippers, but I have never made measuring cups before this. So there is a learning process to be had, and I feel like that's going to take most of my time this weekend. So, will I get it done? I don't know. I would really like to ship these out on Monday. That's when I said I would. So it is time to get cracking. It is time to begin the soul-crushing work of hand sanding. I did do that. Pour pad. Pick up the knife. "15 minutes later, side 1 is done. Side 2, not done. So only 3 more sides to go, and then we'll be done." Woo-wee, woo-wee.
Labor Day night 4. Where did I? Where to go? I don't know where my shuck went. Going up to the floor. That's where.
Hello, I am done hand sanding this one. So it's time to wrap it up in a piece of paper and keep it from getting scratched again and start working on fitting up the handle. So that'll take a little while. Once I get it fit up, I could go ahead and glue it. Not sure if I want to do that quite right away, but it is getting there. So almost done with this blade for tonight, but I do have the other one to sand yet. So
Curry break. Nom.
I'm now going to listen to an audiobook, and I can't do that and film at the same time, so we will see you once we are done with this knife, and maybe once we're done with that other knife if I get distracted enough. delicious. Alrighty, tricky time. This has to go right because if it doesn't, I ruin the whole handle. So, careful. I've just hand sanded side one of the knife with the hamon, and you can kind of see the pattern there in the blade. Obviously that will pop out a lot more once I etch it. But in the meantime, I'm slowly losing my mind because this takes like 20 minutes aside and it's just extremely slow, repetitive work. And my hands hurt from pinching it. So. Okay, I have finished hand sanding this blade. So that means that I can now etch it. I am very glad to be hand sanding. Also, if you're wondering why, when I hand sand, I put this little block of wood on the tip here when it's exposed. That's because one time I didn't have that, and then I turned around like this and stabbed myself all the way to the bone, which wasn't cool, and I had to give myself stitchers. So now I put a little block of wood on it when it's exposed, except for right now because I'm just taking it off. But that's why. Gotta be safe. All right, boys and girls, I have been working for a long time since I last updated you. I have made 3 little dipper guys. These little measuring cups. I need to make 1 more of these and then 2 more in each set, progressively larger. So I still need to make 11 more of these total, I think. No. 10 more. 9 more. It is 10:30 at night and I've been working here for 4 hours. It is cold. So clearly can't think too well. I need to make 9 more of these. I'm not going to do that tonight. But I am pretty well set for tomorrow. I have the one knife gluing up, which will be ready to grind tomorrow. Should be able to finish that tomorrow. And I'm going to go throw the other blade in the instant coffee etch yet before I go to bed tonight. And that should be ready for the handle to glue up tomorrow because I already have the handle fit up. So all I have to do is basically slide that together and glue it up like you saw me do with the other one. So tomorrow, basically glue up that one handle, grind the other one, and then at some point make 9 little dippers. I do have a few of these partially shaped, kind of rough shaped. This would be the biggest one probably. But I have to figure out a process for that because I have not made this size before much. And so I'm not very efficient at it. So I need to figure out a process for that that's more efficient. But I'll update you tomorrow because I'm going to go to bed now because I've just worked 4 hours and I already worked all day on other stuff. Not here. So I'm tired. So it's been good. We'll see you in the morning. In the coffee it is, so leave it in there overnight. Should have a nice patina in the morning. Dobre jutro. Bienvenidos a todos. It is cold this morning. But I'm out here in the shop again. And first things first, I need to go check on the knife that has been gluing up all night and see if the glue actually set because it was cold out here. And to check on that, I already took the other knife out of the instant coffee this morning and rubbed it down. I need to do a little bit more polishing on that to get the finish how I want it. And then that will be ready to glue up, so that's kind of first order. And then I'll have to mess with those dippers again. But first of all, time to go get the knife out of the clamps and see if it actually set up. So, here we go, clamped oop. First impressions, I think it did mostly set. If it didn't, I can take it inside. It's mostly set, so it'll probably be fine. Alrighty, so here we go. Obviously doesn't look like much right now. That is because it is not fully ground. So a few minutes on the sander, that'll look a lot more like a handle. But for right now, looks kind of like garbage. I am seeing there's one little gap there, which I'll probably grind past, hopefully, because that's a little concerning. But we'll see. I think it'll work. So, see you after a few minutes. All right, handle sanding is mostly done. Got some nice facets going on there. Walnut and Osage handle. So, this will need a little bit of fine tuning, probably with a file, and then some hand sanding. So that knife is almost done, kind of up to where the other ones were. So time to throw it in the drawer and move on to that last one. So gotta keep working. So I'm working on this knife now. It's been etched, but it has some weird like spots along the edge. I don't know why those form, but they do occasionally. So I'm gonna have to go over it, rub it with, I use a paper towel and a little bit of toothpaste to provide a little bit of light grit. So just to polish up this kind of edge region below the line, do the same on the other side. This is a little bit tricky because I now have to treat this like a nuclear waste site, because if I touch it with any grit or anything at all sharp, it'll scratch the finish and it'll look bad. So I have to keep it completely clean from grit and stuff, so I have to be really careful. But get to work on this and see if I can get it looking clean and nice. Gotta make sure that it's seated all the way down. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. Donde lo puse allí. On the van, see if this still fits. It do. It do. Okay, cool. We are set to glue it up then, so I gotta get set for that. It should work fine. So I'll do that now. Hello, my friends. I'm back. So I ended up having to work all afternoon, like at work. So I haven't made any progress on this since you last saw me this morning. So it is now 6:30 p.m. Saturday evening, and I'm back out here for a quick little push, and I'm gonna see if I can get all the knives done, at least. I think that's possible. I don't think I'm gonna get the dippers done tonight because that requires some forging, and I don't really think I have time for that tonight. So if I can get the knives done here in a couple hours, maybe make a little progress on the dippers, but I think I'll have to wait then until Monday to finish things up, either before work in the morning or in the evening. So that's where we're at. I'm now going to take this knife that I glued up, you saw me glue up this morning, and start grinding the handle. I did notice, incidentally, that it now has a slight, maybe 3 or 4 degree offset, or the blade is bent about 3 or 4 degrees. So I'm gonna have to try to correct that. I must have bent the tang a little bit when I put it together and clamped it down. So luckily it's not completely hardened because it has a hamon, so I should be able to just bend that straight, no issues. Yeah, so we'll update you once I've made some progress. Alrighty, folks, got that handle shaped up. A little bit different profile than some of the others, but I think it'll be okay. So that's shaped up. I've started hand sanding these now, so I'm going to go ahead and hand sand the top face and the bottom face of all 5 handles, because I don't have to switch the visor around to do that. So I'll do all the tops and bottoms, and then I will go ahead and do the sides. So it's probably all I get done tonight is getting these handles all sanded up to 600 grit, and then I'll probably put the tung oil that I used to finish them the first coat on tonight and let them dry over the weekend. So that's what I'll be doing for the next couple hours probably. So see how it goes. All right, drum roll. I have finished sanding the last of the 5 handles, which took a very long time, like 2 hours. So I am now ready to put the tung oil on this one and then set it over to dry, and that's probably all I'm going to get done tonight. So I'll show you the process and then show you all of the knives together, because that will be cool to see them all together.
Get ready for the magic. Beautiful. This is the local walnut wood and local Osage orange wood for that accent there. And it is quite nice. Just give it a little bit more tung oil here, and then we'll let that dry overnight before giving it another coat before we finish up. Handle number 3 for the night, finishing it up here. Some very nice curly walnut on this one. It's a little copper bolster there. Not quite as much contrast between the walnut and the copper as I would have liked, but it's still nice. Get some nice rough texture on the front of the bolster there, as I like to do these days. So just 2 more to go, I believe. And then these knives will be essentially done, except for sharpening.
I've lost it. Oh, there it is. Oops. Alrighty, final handle. Whoa. Brilliant orange of the Paddock
coming through here. First time using this kind of wood, and I must say I do love it. Very brilliant orange, but very nice to work with. Wowie. All of these handles will get another coat or two of tung oil later, once this first batch has dried. But for now, that's this handle. And time to go set it over to dry. Alrighty, and there you go. All 5 handles oiled up and creatively stacked between cutting boards to dry. Cutting boards available now at etsy.com/handforgedchef. So yeah, gonna let these dry overnight at least. Probably won't work on them till Monday, and they will be basically done. Again, just another coat or two of tung oil, a little cleanup and sharpening, and they will be good to go. So that's the biggest part of this order, but I do still have those 9 little measuring cups to make, and then we'll be done. So yes, long day's work. Put in about 7 or 8 hours, 6-8 hours out here today. I'm not exactly sure how long. I'd have to look. And many hours yesterday, and also many hours in the previous weeks. So each of these projects takes a long time. Each of those knives is probably a cumulative total of, I would guess, something like 12 to 15 hours a piece, and dippers take time as well. So I've been working on this project for a couple of months really now, and really taking up kind of all my free time, but it's a lot of fun and glad I get to do it. And after this, I'll get to do some projects that I want to work on myself, which will be fun. Get to exercise a little bit more creativity there. But for now, until Monday, and then I'll catch you up as I finish those dippers and get this all packaged and handle textures with the oil on them. A lot of these woods, I know what they look like, but the whole time I'm working with them, they're dusty and you can't see it. And so it's only once you get the oil on it that you can actually start seeing the pattern. So that's pretty fun. Anyway, it's like 11 o'clock here, so it's time for me to go in and go to bed and get some sleep. Look at that nice curly walnut. Alrighty, night-night. Some tips if you're ever doing product photography like this, one of which is to use outdoor indirect lighting. Okay, I believe I left you with a suspenseful description of how to take pictures of knives, and then my battery died, so we're back. I'm done taking pictures of knives, but you can watch the B-roll now, and I'm now going to make dippers. Okay, so I got briefly distracted and made this little sand blaster. Don't have sand, so it's sawdust, and I don't even know if it works because I just made it now very quickly. Ooh, yeah. Yet to be seen once I get sand if it actually feeds properly, but that's cool. I'll use that for things. Okay, sandblaster complete. So now starting on little measuring cups, I have a lot of little squares cut out here of copper, and I'm going to start working these into bowl shapes. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of a hiccup in which I was trying to refill a propane tank, and our bigger tank that we fill them from is mostly empty or something, so I barely have any propane, and I may barely have enough to finish this tonight. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I do. I'll just need to anneal them a few times for this to work. So we hope that works. But I'm going to start working these out, hammering them down, and see what we come up with. It's not that I was wanting to see how far you could push it without annealing it, but that is cracking now, which means that this one is ruined, so I'll have to start over on this one. Apparently, right before that is how far you can go before it will crack without annealing.
Alrighty, I haven't updated in a long time, but I've been working. I have many of the medium-sized measuring cups done. I mean I have the bowls made, sort of. And I think I have all the small ones as well. I do not have the larger ones yet. And that is a little bit tricky because I don't really have anything that size to form them with, and I'm not sure exactly what size they should be. So I'm still thinking about that and trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I don't have any more propane, so I can't heat it up. So I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to finish the dippers tonight. So worst case scenario, I could work on it tomorrow and try to still wrap it up then. Because I'm getting kind of cold because it's cold out here in the shop. And yeah, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'll make up my mind here before too long, and then we'll do something. Okay, so if you're wondering how far it's possible to take a copper thing before you first anneal it, you can take it about that far. It's getting a little bit too hard now, so I'll probably chill, get most of the rest of them up to about this stage, and then go ahead and anneal them and finish them out. This is pretty thin copper, especially the way I drew it out, but once it's work hardened, it's quite stiff, and I think it should be fine. So you do that 8 more times. Okay, I'm about to put in the final rivet on these dippers, so I will show you what that looks like, and then I'll be done. Alrighty, pop it out of my jig there, rivet in, just gotta hammer down the back over here, and then we'll be done. And we have a riveted little measuring cup. Thank goodness, this is the last one. If you would like to see how many I've destroyed in this process, allow me to get them. These are the ones that didn't make the cut. And this one did. So, cool. Anyway, we'll get a little bit of B-roll of them all done, and then this video will be over because I am tired of filming, and it's been way too long.
And that concludes this custom order project. So I hope you enjoyed following along with the process. I feel like this was an accurate depiction of my mental state throughout the process, so fun. Anyway, but that's what it looks like. So have fun and we'll see you later.